we are definitely back. We left off talking about, you know, coming down on yourself for failure. You wanted to jump in before I called the break. So go ahead and go into what you was about to say.
One thing I learned, man, that voice, so it has to be a balance. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times, I'll speak for myself in the past. Right. I would listen to that voice that was like, no, it's okay. You did your best. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That voice that makes you feel, like David Goggins said, that little voice that makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I would avoid that voice. I was like, bro, you fucking up. Like, you definitely could have done more. You should be doing more. You ain't on your shit. Like, I would ignore that voice, man. And so because I would ignore it, I had no self-accountability. You see what I'm saying? So one of the biggest things I had to do was find a balance. And if I'm being 100% honest, I lean towards a more aggressive voice. I lean towards it. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because that's the one that keeps me accountable. That's the one that says, okay, so you're up at 3 a.m. and you're not going to go work out? Like, what the fuck but like, because you're not recording today, you're not going to work out. Right. Oh, so you only want to record you working out. You only want to go work out when somebody's looking, when you know people are going to be looking. See, that's that voice. You need that voice, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, it keeps you accountable. Right. And so I've learned to embrace it. Like, that voice kind of keeps me in check just as far as training. And even if I mess up with a client, like I forget a session or like I'm human, you know what I'm saying? Right. That little soft voice will be like, oh, that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. That hard voice is like, no, bro, you need to be fucking organized. Like stop putting everything in your head and start writing shit down. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just, maybe it's the Libra in me. I'm always looking for balance. The Libra. In the middle, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so it's a healthy balance of the two, man. Right. You know, but don't be afraid of that hard voice. That hard voice is there for a reason. That hard voice is oftentimes more needed than that soft one. Right, right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let Shelby pat you on the back. You don't pat yourself on the back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
She does give very good bat packs.
Yeah, let her pat you there. Let Courtney be the one, oh, good job, yada, yada. I'm not saying that shit to myself. Right, right. Because what'll happen a lot of times is J. Cole got this line in the song where he was like, celebrating all your first downs like they touchdowns brings a price. So that the constant patting yourself on the back, you get stuck in that moment of victory or whatever you did.
Instant gratification.
And that's why you got guys that still talking about what they did in high school and shit. They were superstars in high school or superstars in college, and now they 40 years old, still talking about the same shit that they did. Right. Versus
what they doing now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. And this ain't no shot. I'm just using that as an example. Right. You know what I'm saying? That soft voice, at least for me personally, breeded complacency. You know what I'm saying? It got me stuck like, I was distinguished honor graduate in the military, and when I was in basic training, I graduated at the top of my class. But what the fuck did you do after that? You got kicked out, nigga. That's what you did.
Yeah, you did.
You got kicked out. But see, you don't wanna address that. You want to just harp on the fact that you were a distinguished honor graduate. Right. You don't want to address your fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But you got to address that fuck up in order for you to move forward. So, healthy balance, man.
You're definitely right talking about balance, and, you know, a lot of people don't have that. You know, a lot of people seek, like I said, instant gratification over delayed gratification, even though 99.9 times out of 10, that delayed is going to serve you much greater, or it's going to serve a much greater purpose than the instant gratification. Because a motherfucker walking down the street and say, hey, nice hat. Okay, that's instant gratification. You're going to keep that hat on for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Or you going to swing, you know what I'm saying? But that's the context of the situation. That's how that shit is. Yeah. You know, it's just a way about me, man. And, you know, like, hey, look, on the podcast, we don't hide shit. We don't, you know, there's nothing I need to hide because I'm not that type of motherfucker. But it's just, I hark back to the way that I was raised, to all the experiences and, you know, to which I'm not really going to dig into, but just all the fucked up shit that happened, man. And I used to be one of the main cats that said, man, depression ain't shit. Anxiety ain't real. Man, people need to just stop fucking acting like that. These niggas just want attention. Get the fuck out of it. Until that shit came knocking at my door.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was just this sudden realization like, oh shit. All of that shit I was talking back in the day, now look at me. I can't even get out of bed because my head fuck up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know, that definitely is something that definitely needs to be discussed a lot more, man, because I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem admitting when I'm wrong. I know Leos get a bad rap, being prideful, always wanting attention and show off. Man, fuck all that. I don't have a problem being wrong. Like, hey, I did A. Hey, Jabbar, it's actually B. You fucked up. You know what? How can I correct this?
Right.
Because a wise man is going to learn from, what was it say? A smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from his mistakes and the mistakes of the people around him. So how am I going to get to the next level if I feel as though I do nothing wrong? How am I going to get to step 2 if I'm stuck at step 1, knowing that what I'm doing isn't working and motherfuckers see that I'm fucking up and they're like, hey man, you need to do this. Nah, fuck you, man. I know what I'm doing. I can't, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have a problem, you know, admitting that I fucked up, you know, and it's just, bro, like being in the situation that I'm in now, you know, as a matter of fact, like yesterday I was in the hospital, you know, and like your face, I saw that shock, you know, and it's just like, I thought I was going to die. Like real shit, like all jokes aside, I thought I was going to die because the level of anxiety, the level of worry, paranoia, depression, it's like these motherfuckers form a gang and it's just like they come knocking at my door like every other day. Usually I'm okay with it, but over time, and this is all going to be relative, over time, it just seems like something I can't get out of my head. You know what I mean? And the reason I was in the hospital is because my body wasn't acting right. I was like tired as fuck all the time, you know, constant headaches, stomach problems, back problems, leg problems. I'm like, fuck, am I going to die or some shit? So I just, you know, I went to the hospital and everything checked out. This is like the second time, I went this like the second time in like 2 weeks. And for them, because they put me through all the scans, took my blood, took my pressure, did all this shit, and they're like, oh, nothing's wrong. That leads me to believe that it's all upstairs. You see what I'm saying? We didn't necessarily get the teachings. We didn't necessarily get the knowledge of self, right? What comes along with knowledge of self is knowledge of how your brain works. Your brain does more than put 2 and 2 together and make 4. Your brain literally controls who you are and what you do. Right. So if this ain't working right, the fuck makes you think your body gonna work right? You know what I mean? Right. Hence the reason why a lot of millionaires and billionaires commit suicide. They got all the things that we deem necessary in life to be happy, but why are they killing themselves? Why are they jumping off fucking buildings? Why are they hanging themselves? Why are they ODing? Why are they addicts of drugs and alcohol? You know? And with me, it's just harping back to that voice of, you know, me being so fucking hard on myself. I really do believe that, you know, positive reinforcement is not a bad thing. Too much of it is, it leads you to be complacent and lazy as fuck. Right. But positive reinforcement, especially to people who deal with what the fuck, you know, people like me deal with, you know, and I don't want to be like, oh, woe is me, I'm this guy. Nah,
real shit.
It's like, especially with men, and if we go even deeper, especially with black men, because of how we were raised, we don't show emotion. We don't even cry. Like, people look at you funny when you say, I'm sad. Because that's how we were raised. We're men. We're supposed to, fuck it, nothing hurts me. I can take everything. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. You know what I mean? And it's like, when you get to that point to where it's like, I legit don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. That's when it all starts to set in. You know what I mean? That's when all the voices start to take control of you. That's when you can't get out of bed. That's when you lose all motivation. That's when you lose all hope, all sense of who the fuck you are. You know, because coupled with the fact that you weren't raised to know how to deal with this, you're in a society that doesn't give a fuck about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't give a fuck about you until
profit off of it.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't. Man, listen. They don't give a fuck about you until you do something about it. The fact that you're going through your struggle, people are not going to care, regardless of what your struggle is. The society we live in, people don't care about the daily grind. They care about your absolute failure, or they care about your absolute success.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Some real shit.
So if you give up and say, you know what, I'm jumping off the bridge, and you kill yourself. Oh no, why kill yourself? I wish I could have did this. But if you win, you know what, I knew he was always going to do that shit.
Right.
Or, and fuck this nigga, who the fuck he think he is? You know what I mean?
Right. So yeah, for sure, man. I deal with anxiety and shit, man. I definitely been through depression, man. 2015, bro. I wanted to kill myself. Real shit.
We're gonna go on record. Anybody watching this, I bet you any amount of money, 2015 was probably the worst year of your life. If you approaching 30, 2015 was probably the worst year of your life. That's the year I got locked up.
Word?
That's the year I had to turn myself in because of my ex-girlfriend.
Right.
So continue. I just had to throw that out there, man.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, but you know, shit. My wife and I, we was about to get divorced. Damn, I was getting kicked out of the military. My mama just had a heart attack, bro. It was a lot of shit going on, dog. And I remember I was going home. I was leaving the base, headed home, and I was just like, I'm fucking done. Done. Like I called Courtney, I texted her or something. I was just telling her, oh yeah, I love you, yada 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 yada. I was like, in my head, I was going home to hang myself.
Damn it.
Like real shit, you know what I'm saying? And so, honestly, I was in that dark place, and you know, it's crazy, dog. I had almost developed an arrogance about myself because I was always winning at shit. Anything I did, I was good at it. But not only that, I could half-ass it and get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Like school, I was good at football. I was smart, but I was always cutting class. But at the end of the year, I take the final exam. I remember, what was it? It was one of them science classes, bro. I was fucking never in that class. I took the exam at the end of the year and got one of the highest scores. Same thing in social studies class. They were like, honestly, you should fail, but I can't fail you. You know the fucking material. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so it got to the point, man, of me getting off of talent.
Right.
Talent. Even basic training, I got promoted, but I didn't know my fucking job like that when I was in AIT. But I had charisma, I was a leader. So I skated through.
People gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
Right.
But when I got kicked out, when I started getting in trouble in the military, and then finally I got kicked out, that was the first time that talent did not pull me out of a situation. That was the first time talent was like, yo, it's not enough. It's not enough. Like you gotta have dedication, hard work, all that discipline. That your talent is no longer. It's like God's grace period on just my talent was like, hey, that's it, bro. You gotta learn this lesson. And so for a while, bro, I was dealing with, and I didn't realize it until afterwards, I had never taken a loss like that in my life. So it was like, I lost all trust in myself. Dog. Like, I couldn't, you asked me if you ask me, hey, you want fucking chicken rice or macaroni, nigga, I'm freaking out. Like, I'm not gonna make the right decision. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so
chicken rice. What?
So damn. But honestly, bro, and one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna tie it all together. One of the reasons why Jay-Z is my favorite is my favorite rap of all time. 444. That changed my life, dog. The title song is called "Kill Jay-Z," and when he explained it, he said 444 is probably my most honest album. So I had to kill off the ego of Jay-Z in order for y'all to get to know Sean Carter. So the title song is Kill Jay-Z. The whole song, he's talking about trauma. He's talking about his mistakes. He's talking about shit that's been done to him. He's getting all that shit off his chest. So now we can talk to Sean Carter. We can get to know him. You know what I'm saying? And so 2017 is when that album came out. 2017 is when I started doing the work on myself. I started having hard conversations with my adoptive mom. The conversations that I did not want to have. I had to have them, dog. I had to. It was unfucking comfortable. And sometimes they led to no resolution. I had to acknowledge the fact that you got kicked out not because someone was against you, but you was a piece of shit. You was fucking up. Your luck ran out. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times in order for us to make progress in certain areas, or all areas, man, you got to kill off that ego. You got to kill off that pride. You know what I'm saying? You got to kill off whatever you portray to social media and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it all together. Like, you're making this money. You got this job. Yada, yada, yada. You got to kill all that shit off and get to the root.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I had to get to a root of a lot of situations in my life. And I'd be lying if I said I was over everything.
Right.
It's shit that I thought I was over that I'm not. And it's just now rearing its head again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but now I've learned how to identify, and I've learned that when I identified, as soon as I identified, I need to start working through that shit. I need to start having the conversations with myself first, and then if I need to have conversations with whoever else, then, you know,
you can do that.
Yeah.
You know that, and the fact that you said it was uncomfortable, and the fact that you actually did it, that puts you ahead of so many motherfuckers, because just the act of talking to people is starting to become a foreign concept. You know, I got a homeboy. You know, I'm not going to release any like personal, information and nothing like that, but I got a homeboy to where holding a conversation with him for more than 10 minutes is like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? It's like, I almost want to be like, motherfucker, you gonna fucking talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, but see, there's two ways that I think about it. Because one, if it's like, I have this, I don't know, I'm gonna try to put it in words properly. I have this desire, and I don't know if it's just because it's going out of style or if it's just the way I am, but meaningful conversation. I put that up there with busting a nut in a motherfucker that I really love. Because I can't, I'm trying to tell you, bro, because like, context. I'm not one of these motherfuckers that can go out here and just, have sex with as many women as because after a while, it's just like, why am I doing this? It's kind of like I long for connection with motherfuckers, and I'm I'm pretty sure that shit stems from my childhood, bro. Because growing up in that situation, it was always this disconnect between me and the people around me. You know what I mean? So, and I am a firm believer in what you lack as a child, you crave as an adult. Think about that for a second. You wonder why cats can't leave certain females alone. It's not the fact that she's the greatest motherfucker in the world. It's the fact that he's been through so much shit to where he's already built up a connection that he's never had before. So he doesn't want to give that up for shit. You know what I mean? So that's why I put conversations up there so high, because it's so hard to talk to people.
That's real shit.
It's so hard to find people that's like, yo, man, let's talk about this table, dog. This fucking table, the fucking structure of this table, and then but the legs. You see, and then that leads to the, because
right.
If you understand conversation, you understand that how you start the conversation is never how you finish it. I had this joke about my old man, because I can only talk to two people for hours on end. I can talk to him. I can talk to my homeboy Micah. Usually when we working, because obviously I live in Columbia. They live here in Charleston. But like if we out on the road working, chatting it up. And the joke with my old man was, he is the only motherfucker that I can start a conversation. I can have a 4-hour conversation with him. Excuse me. it'll start talking about the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins, and it'll end when we're talking about quantum physics. Think about all the things you got to talk about in between a sports team and some universal shit, some spiritual shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's just, and I accept that, you know, because I'm in this era, people are going to think that's crazy. Because, man, shit, what's the thing now? If it's textable, don't call me. If you can text it, don't call me. If it's not that important, don't call me. I have such a beef with that because that is basically that mindset. Every day it makes the gap wider and wider and wider to the point to where people are not even going to respond to text messages because it's weird to have a conversation with a motherfucker because you've never had that before. Most people have never been forced to sit down and say, what's on your mind? What's bothering you right now? You are not strong.
But you know what? I feel like that stems from the fact that most people never sit down with themselves. It's all, we gotta have noise. And I realized that with myself throughout this process, man. Like, think about it, man. When you by yourself, you either fucking listen to some music, you might be reading something, you might be looking at a YouTube video, you might be texting somebody. But how many times do you honestly just sit with yourself? Because when it's quiet, that's when the voices start. We don't want to acknowledge the voices.
Right.
You know, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. So in order for you to have a meaningful conversation with somebody else, you got to be able to have a meaningful conversation with yourself first. Shit got to get quiet. Shit got to get quiet, dog. You got to sit there, and it's like, man, I had so I lost my uncle 2017 to cancer. I lost my granny this year to just being old, really.
Old age,
yeah. Excuse me. But you know, when she died, bro, that's when I started this business. When she died, the last thing when she could talk, she said, take care of your kids. Take care of your family. She kept telling me that. Those were her words. She kept saying that shit. So when she died, it was like, all right, let me go do this. So I was moving, boom, boom, doing this, gotta do this. I was working for Coke too. So
yeah, I remember that.
I was moving. And at first I was like, yeah, I'm just grinding. Like I'm using my granny's death as fuel. I'm grinding. But really I was staying busy so I didn't have to start grieving. Because the moment I got quiet and sat with the fact that she's gone, the moment that became reality. You know what I'm saying? And so it was one night I smoked. So it was one night I smoked and high as shit, man. Went in the house, bro. Then I had a panic attack, though. And it's just like all my feelings about her just started coming out.
Yeah.
A panic attack. And then it was another day. I went to her house, man. I ain't take my phone. I ain't take nothing. I sat on the porch quiet and just broke the fuck down, dog. Everything that I've been holding on for them months, that shit came out. But I had to get quiet. You gotta get quiet. No one wants to be fucking quiet. We don't want to be quiet. We gotta. It's like I be looking at social media and it's crazy, you know. And of course I gotta catch myself when I'm doing this shit too. But it's like, mom, you know, people just saying shit just to fucking say it.
Yes.
Just so people can like what they saying. Yeah. It be some ignorant ass shit, man.
Or ignorant ass motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like you don't really think that.
No.
Or one person will say something. Now here come everybody else repeating it. It's like when motherfuckers was killing Kanye. Y'all killing this motherfucker because he likes Trump, but y'all were the same motherfuckers that were supporting R. Kelly. So you killing somebody because of their their political views, but you supporting a fucking child molester. Where your head at?
Hey,
you're not really mad at Kanye. It's just a hot topic right now, and you want to be a part of it.
Facts.
You want to gain some steam off of all the bullshit that everybody else is steaming, is spitting out. So now you want to hop on that train, and it's like you don't really think like that. You don't really feel like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I be looking at people posting, and I'm like, all these likes. Are they making any money off of this shit?
It's a lot of them aren't.
Yeah, and it's like it's like legit funny ass people on my timeline getting so many likes and shit. I'm like, yo, why don't you can monetize yourself? Why don't you start a YouTube channel? Why don't you start a podcast? People that are very opinionated, ain't nothing wrong with that. But don't be out here sharing your views for free. Motherfuckers will pay to listen to you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like nobody want to think like that. We just want the likes, want the popularity. You know what I'm saying?